We are getting so close to the kitchen makeover. So today we are gonna go shopping at IKEA to find some pieces to DIY to transform this kitchen. Hey guys, and welcome back into the channel. We are making slow but steady progress on this kitchen makeover. There's just so many projects that I want to do to get this space to where I'm ready for all of the pretty touches and all of the little renter-friendly DIYs that I have planned in here. So we're gonna tackle some of those items on my to-do list today. Now, Alex and I actually just got back from vacation not that long ago. We went to Mammoth Cave National Park. It was so cool and honestly so needed to go on a vacation, take a little break from work. But on the way back home, we decided to make a stop at IKEA because we just didn't want our trip to end. But instead of me just like talking and describing that here, let me just show you the footage that I got while we were out shopping. I was thinking black stools would look really cute under our island. These aren't too bad. So I figured we could work right here in the dining room for this video so that I'm right next to the kitchen and can easily access it for seeing and styling all of these pieces. And what I want to start with is the big project. And I know I got a lot of comments on my little plan with me video to keep the bar stools in this kitchen what I already have. And while I do think that they are a perfect match, I just felt like there was too much medium toned wood going on in this room. So when I was at IKEA and I saw these counter stools, I knew that I had to have them. And I think that we can make them look even more elevated and a little bit more cottagecore with this first DIY. But the very first thing we need to do is get the stools assembled. We have our stool assembled. It does not fit in the frame, but I did not put the top on yet. We're gonna save that part for last because I want to use the top to create a template for our cushion that we are going to be adding. And I got this really pretty, if you can see it here, just gingham beige fabric. And you may have noticed that I've been doing a lot more sewing projects recently on my channel. And that is all really a big thanks to Craftsy, who is the sponsor of today's video. I have been taking these sewing classes on Craftsy for a while now, and I just feel like it has helped me kind of revive some of the skills that I just forgot or got a little rusty on, and now I'm starting to just feel a lot more confident when it comes to a sewing project. So I'm gonna start working on these cushions, showing you how we're gonna make them, and I'll also tell you a little bit about Craftsy while we do it. So I've been pretty much on Craftsy taking in as many of the skills advancing classes that I can in sewing because I want to have all of the skills and tools available to me so that I know I can approach confidently any project. So I have been through the Startup Library in Sewing, Advance Your Sewing Skills, and I just took Practical Sewing Tips and Techniques, which tackled one big thing that I am always scared of with a sewing project, which is tension and then troubleshooting that tension. There is just something about that always scares me, but now I know what to do and how to address some of the common issues that I have while sewing, all thanks to this class on Craftsy. And it is so much more than sewing. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative with classes on quilting, knitting, cake decorating, crochet, arts or baking, and even a category for home decor, which I've also been binging the classes on there as well. And I feel like every single time I've taken a class on Craftsy, I feel like I walk away with so many more techniques and ideas and inspiration that I honestly would not have had otherwise. And the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49, valid for new members only. I'm also including a QR code on the screen right now so that if you are watching on TV, you can scan that with the camera on your phone and it will take you to the link as well. And once you sign up, you'll be able to access more than 2,000 different classes and find your new inspiration for your next DIY project. After I was done sewing with my machine, I then tacked the cushion in a couple spots to create a tufted look once I went in with the stuffing. And now instead of tying this cushion around the legs, which I thought would look a little bit sloppy and not as refined, I'm actually just going to take the ties and use my stapler to attach the ties to the bottom of the seat. And then once I added the legs back on top, it's going to just hold this in place. And I really think that this gives this a much more clean and finished look. Alright, when I was also at IKEA, I picked up something that's kind of a staple and something I already use here in my kitchen, but was needing to replace anyway because they have definitely been well used, and that is the cork trivets. And I love these because they have so much DIY potential beyond just being a trivet. But since we're in a kitchen, I think that it's appropriate that we just do something to make these basic cork trivets look a little cuter. So this comes in a pack of 3, and I think we're gonna do at least 2 different ideas so that we can just kind of experiment and see what works. But for the first one, I was inspired by this cutting board, actually. I think this cutting board is just adorable. I almost bought it because I just love it so much, but I really don't have a need for it. I already have plenty of wood cutting boards, so why not take that design and transfer it onto here? And I'm gonna do that using my wood burning tool. I don't get to use this very often, so I thought this would be kind of a fun project to try it out on. I honestly always forget how much I love using this wood burning tool. It creates such a cool effect. Now, if you don't have a wood burning tool or don't want to go out and buy one, of course you could use acrylic paint to paint any design that you want on these trivets, and it will definitely hold up and still look really cute and still look really good and have that homemade effect that we are going for. But if you do want to try something new, I definitely recommend wood burning and picking up one of these tools. It's really not that expensive, and I think I'm gonna have to use this a little bit more often for some projects because it was just really satisfying to see this design come to life on this trivet. Now for the second trivet, I'm using a scrap piece of fabric from the cafe curtains that we made in my last video. I'm just tracing the trivet onto the fabric and cutting it out, and then I'm just going to use Mod Podge to apply it. I just added a really thick layer of Mod Podge to the cork trivet and then pressed the fabric down in place. And this was so easy and turned out really cute, and I could imagine doing this in all sorts of patterns. I was not sure if I should put a layer of Mod Podge then over top of the fabric, if that would impact putting like a hot dish on top. So let me know in the comments if you guys have done something like this before, if I would be okay to just put a seal layer on top just to, you know, protect the fabric. But I do think the look is so cute. Let's work on our next project. We're going to use another new IKEA product for this one. And when I saw these, I was really excited because I feel like these have so much DIY potential where we could do many, many more projects with these. And these are these two wood trays. Smorling? I don't know how you pronounce it. And I really just love these because they are raw, unfinished wood, and you're meant to treat them so that you can actually use them and be food safe, but I want to DIY with them, especially since they are a raw wood surface. And I just love the look of those weathered pedestal or riser trays. I just think they look really cool. They add a bit of rusticness and charm and warmth into a kitchen space, and I thought that this could be a really fun project to try with these trays. I definitely had a couple different ideas of what I was thinking of what I wanted to do with them. And I landed on, I think, this. Now that it's out of the packaging, I'm thinking, I originally thought I would maybe turn like this into some feet, but I actually already have a tray that looks like that. So I wanted something a little bit different. I thought, why not go with what would probably be like the obvious or the easy route, but I think it's gonna be the best choice. And use this as the base and this as the top, and you get this really just adorable riser situation where it's just very subtle, but I love that it has the nice curves, the oval shape. I just think it's gonna look very sophisticated once it's all done. This has already turned out so cute. The glue is dry and you could totally leave it like this, add some cutting board oil, and this is cute and ready to go, and you could use it as like a really nice serving platter. But I do want to take it that step further and really age it and weather it and just kind of turn it into something so it just doesn't look so new and kind of fits in, because I love antiques and vintage finds, and so I just want this to have a little bit more character, but right now as is totally works as well. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just play around with a couple different tools. I have some chisels right here that I'm going to use. I have a wire brush, and I also have 3 different levels of sandpaper, and we're just gonna weather away at this and see what it looks like when we're done. So we're gonna work on this and see what kind of result we get. So after using a variety of methods to kind of scuff up and rough up this piece to give it a nice weathered look, I'm now going to give it a whitewash. And that is because it has such red wood tones that I feel like the whitewash is just going to calm that down ever so slightly so that it just doesn't show more red. I want this to look like a very natural piece of wood. I let that whitewash dry, and now I'm going in with my favorite stain, Early American. And you guys, this stain usually never lets me down, but I honestly feel like it let me down for this piece, and I'm not 100% happy with how it turned out. Usually I feel like this stain is a little bit lighter than this and has a little bit more of a golden tone, but I think that this wood just really soaked up the stain instantly, and I really just wish I would have went with a lighter stain instead, because I was hoping that this would look a little bit more natural, but we're gonna live with the result. I do still think it is pretty and matches with the kitchen. I just wish that it would have had a better outcome. I did seal the entire thing with some matte polyacrylic just so it'd be extra durable, but let me know what you guys think. I can't believe how these turned out, especially taking such basic and simple IKEA pieces and adding some charm and character that's gonna fit in so perfectly with my vision for this kitchen. You're gonna wanna make sure you're subscribed because the makeover officially commences in my next video. You are not gonna wanna miss out. And don't forget to head to the description box to check out Craftsy. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.